The crypto market finally took a breath today as many major digital assets flashed green following positive news coming from the Middle East. Will the Bitcoin era of strategy soon be history? What did the well-known bank Standard Chartered just do? What lies ahead for Cardano? And what are the worrying signals around XRP? These are the topics we'll dive into today. Thank you for all your feedback. The likes, comments, and especially hitting that follow button with the bell helps us tremendously. A few hours ago, Bitcoin jumped to $62,000, and at the moment of this recording, it's trading around $61,700, a 2.5% increase for the day. Ethereum surged 6% and broke above 1,700, Cardano climbed 7%, while WorldCoin and Uniswap pumped 13–14%. The reason behind this revival appears to be the positive developments coming from the East. Multiple media outlets reported that the US and Iran will resume negotiations on July 18, which analysts say temporarily reduced geopolitical tension and brings back appetite for risk assets. The latest diplomatic breakthrough comes thanks to Qatar and Pakistan, who once again acted as key intermediaries between Washington and Tehran. According to sources, both countries played a crucial role in organizing the indirect talks, providing a communication channel at a time when direct dialogue remains politically sensitive. Another important detail is that negotiations will resume after the funeral of Iran's former supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, an event that briefly paused diplomatic processes and drew global attention. President Donald Trump also commented on the development, emphasizing that the diplomatic process continues to move in a favorable direction. Such statements usually calm markets, signaling political willingness for de-escalation. Beyond crypto, the Middle East news also boosted precious metals. Gold rose to nearly $4,200 and silver reached $62. Meanwhile, traditional financial indexes like Nasdaq and S&P 500 are in the red today. The next major topic comes from the institutional world, where more and more voices suggest that the Bitcoin era of strategy is gradually fading. Matt Hogan from Bitwise explains that Michael Saylor's model, aggressively buying Bitcoin and turning it into a core corporate asset, is no longer the main driver of the market. The reason is the rise of spot ETFs, which give institutions a much easier and regulated way to gain exposure to BTC. Strategy is no longer the only corporate vote of Bitcoin, but part of a much broader institutional ecosystem. This shift in sentiment intensified after recent issues around strategy triggered panic among some crypto investors. The company's stock saw a sharp drop, and the market reacted negatively to concerns that strategy is overly dependent on Bitcoin's volatility. Additional tension came from Saylor's new capital raising plan, which analysts warn could dilute shareholder value and potentially lead to new Bitcoin sales. All of this raised questions about whether the company has reached the limit of its strategy and whether aggressive BTC accumulation remains sustainable long-term. According to Hogan, these developments show that the market is entering a new phase. Instead of relying on one company and one person, institutional participation is now broad, diverse, and far more structured. ETFs, major funds, and banks are gradually shifting strategy away from the spotlight. The Saylor era isn't ending dramatically, it's transforming, and new leaders of institutional Bitcoin are already emerging. Standard Chartered became the first major international bank to officially offer direct stablecoin services, immediately capturing the market's attention. The decision is historic, showing how quickly traditional financial institutions are adapting to digital assets. The bank will provide infrastructure for issuing, managing, and settling stablecoins, aiming to simplify cross-border trade and reduce international payment costs. This is a huge step forward, as such services were previously offered mainly by crypto companies, not by banks with over 150 years of history and global reach. According to Standard Chartered's leadership, stablecoins are the next evolution in digital payments and will play a key role in modernizing financial infrastructure. What's interesting is that the bank isn't just supporting stablecoins, it's integrating them directly into its own services, potentially changing how businesses conduct international transactions. If other banks follow, this could open a new era where traditional finance and crypto are no longer competitors but partners. We move on to Cardano, which is on the verge of one of its biggest upgrades ever, the Chunk upgrade, scheduled for July 6. It will change how Cardano is governed, shifting to a model where the community has real power to make decisions about the project's future. The most important upcoming change is the introduction of fully decentralized governance. This means users and developers will be able to vote on changes, new features and project funding directly through the blockchain. According to Hoskinson, this is the moment when Cardano becomes a self-governing ecosystem that doesn't depend on a single organization or team. It is expected that activity on the network will increase after the upgrade. Developers will gain more tools and projects will be able to grow faster and more flexibly. Investors are also watching the technical improvements that should make Cardano more efficient and more attractive for decentralized applications. ADA has already reacted positively to the upcoming upgrade, jumping 12% over the past week and currently trading slightly above 16 cents. We'll wrap up today's video with Ripple's cryptocurrency XRP, where a concerning signal has appeared. For the first time since March, spot XRP ETFs registered 2 consecutive red days, meaning institutional investors are reducing their exposure to the asset, forcing Canary Capital, Bitwise, Grayscale and other issuers to sell XRP. Recently, the cryptocurrency has been moving dangerously close to the psychological level of $1, and such signals increase fears that we may see a drop below that level soon. Analyst Diana believes that if XRP holds above $1.08, there is no reason for panic and we could see a rise toward $1.30. However, falling below that barrier could lead to a drop under 90 cents, she added. That's where we'll end today, friends. On behalf of the entire team, we wish you an amazing weekend. See you soon.